Hi, Terry here with Bead Addicts Yarn, and today I'm going to show you how to use chunky yarn, which this is Premier Serenity, which is chunky, which is a chunky yarn, but how to use this successfully on either the Sentro or the Addi knitting machines. These yarns tend to be a little too thick for these machines, and they do create a lot of tucked stitches. So I'm going to show you how to alleviate that problem, and it's very simple. You can't move along super fast with it, which you shouldn't be anyhow with a chunky yarn, because you're just going to create too much wear and tear on your machine. But this is what I do, and it's worked for me for a few years now since I've had my machines. So what I do is for one, I don't have any tension on my yarn going through the feeder guide. Okay, no tension on there, and I just kind of hold on to my yarn behind here. Now some people put weights on this, but then you're constantly moving them, so if you have a free hand, then you may as well use your hand and not have to keep stopping. But you just kind of grab your work as you're going along and just give a little tug on it, and your stitches will knit. And I'm not going to say perfectly, because sometimes you do get a little gap in there where you're not holding down the tension, right? But you're not pulling to pull out the stitches like this. You're just putting a little bit of weight on the yarn, on your worked yarn. And if you're starting off on a project and you want to use chunky yarn, I encourage you to start with waste yarn first, with a thinner weight, so that you get something to grab onto. Okay, so you'll have something to grab, so that you're starting off with your heavier yarn without any tuck stitches or having any problems. So start off with waste yarn first and a thinner yarn that'll work on your machine. Get a little bit of a base that you can grab onto to give that little bit of extra weight to help. And the whole problem, what is happening is, in case you haven't figured it out or don't understand it, is your stitch on the hook coming up, the yarn is not dropping down into position to create the next stitch. Okay, let's see if we can get like here. You might be able to see it. Let me see if I zoom in some. You might be able to see it here, but see right here, this yarn didn't drop all the way down into position. So by tugging on it, you're keeping it down where it's supposed to be. Now I need to make sure that I get my stuff back in place here to continue on. But that's what's creating the whole problem. And by putting, oops, I just messed the whole thing up. But by, because I didn't have my yarn properly in the yarn guide, so I'm going to have to go back. I'm not going to take you there, because that's a whole other nightmare. But that's what you can do to alleviate that problem, and I hope that helps you with working with uncooperative yarn on your machine. Sometimes you just have to have a color, or have to have a certain type of yarn or a certain softness, and it's just not working out for you. You can do this method even with a thinner weight yarn. You're still going to have those problems. Use this method. I'm almost positive, I can almost guarantee it's going to work for you. But you're going to have to use two hands. So you're going to have to make sure that the yarn coming into the machine is free flowing, so that you're not, if you are using a thinner weight, you can use the tensioner on the machine to help put a little bit of tension on your yarn. But then this will make sure that your stitches are all dropping down back onto the needle, so that the next stitch can stitch properly. So subscribe to my channel, Bead Addicts Yarn and More, You'll get updates on any new videos, any patterns or anything like that. Also, we sell the Sentro knitting machine on our website, www.beadaddictsyarn.com. It is currently, this is April 17th. Our selling price is $54. We have a coupon for $8 off, so you can get it for $46, which is a bargain. It's shipped from the United States, 2-day priority shipping. You do have to pay for shipping though, but you get it in, or two to 3 days priority shipping, depending on where you're at. Depends on whether you get it in 2 days or 3 days. It ships from New Jersey, so if you're out in California or out that way, it's going to take 3 days. If you're closer, it'll take 2 days. But it's a great deal on this. Why we have them in stock, I don't know how long I'm going to have this sale going on, but like I said, subscribe to my channel. You'll get patterns, you'll get more tips, and tell me what you think of my video. Okay? Have a great day and enjoy.